Becky and the Shecky Sheckies is the name of the house band. And you are tuned in to EUGE. You're tuned in. We're tuned in. And I'm your host. Have you gone to... You have. Hi, kids. Well, welcome to EUGE. My name is Chuck Roy. Those of you who are familiar with our show are wondering, why is the very large bear center stage? And then those of you who are Facebook fans of ours knew I'd be hosting tonight. My friend Eugene is going to drive the show. He was not feeling well enough to sit in the chair, so he's safely here. He's navigating the show.
From behind the scenes.
This was our plan, and we've committed with our plan.
Yes.
Since this early afternoon. What we didn't factor into our plan and didn't even consider at all would be, what would we do if the guests were late? And
Never crossed our mind.
I was able to go live being able to host a talk show with two empty chairs. I've always wanted to host a Republican Party debate, and tonight is my chance. On the right, Colorado's candidate for governor, Bob Beaupre, an empty chair and an empty suit. I'd guess the party's best effort up against Hickenlooper. That should go 57-43. You know, 50, yeah.
57-43 Hickenlooper?
Hickenlooper going to clean this clock.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be big like that.
Yeah, so they're trying to drill up some sort of an economy thing, and there's a pot store on every block.
Exactly.
The economy's doing okay.
Economy's fine.
In Colorado.
People are doing okay.
On my right, Cory Gardner, candidate for Senate. How did I know he was an empty chair when that fool from Florida was endorsing him?
Who? What was his name?
The senator. But, you know.
Fool from Florida.
Rubio. The Rube.
Oh, yes. Senor Rubio.
Yeah.
Senor Rubio.
Yeah. Speaking of water breaks, I'll be taking them at the 10 o'clock, 10 minutes on the hour, and every 10 minutes thereafter. You know, if I need to stretch earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm going to go for my other guest, a big pitcher of water. What we do is we interview comedians. We're going to interview them. And that's probably the whole hour will air on YouTube, you think?
Probably so. Probably so.
So if you're tuned in to the live broadcast, thanks to all of the folks at the EUGEShow.com PR department. They do a terrific job, by the way. So those of you tuned in, thanks to that. I hope you enjoy my ability to stretch and have an entertaining conversation with you, my only guest. Folks, I can't even see.
Tell us a little bit about Chuck Roy.
I am currently hosting a show with no guests. I got that job. Do we really have to do about my weekend?
We don't.
Let's reveal my first comedy performances and what happened to them. I came home from high school and plugged in, nobody was home, and plugged in my dad's microphone into the tape recorder and put one of my many cassette tapes in there and recorded a 45-minute set. It was a no-brainer. And then I never thought about that again, put it away. And then I loaned that tape. I had recorded something over my brilliant stand-up comedy, and I loaned that tape to a friend who needed it for their report, and the friend listened to whatever I had recorded for 20 minutes, and then went off about whatever they were doing, and then the whole tape played out, and my stand-up played.
Oh.
For, you know, just it wasn't a real, like, I mean, he was a friend, nice guy, but just someone I knew from class, so no one I wanted to share my very secret hidden stand-up comedy attempt, and he said, "You cursed a lot." Which could essentially be the story of my comedy ever since.
And that was his critique. You cursed a lot.
I think it's probably what stood out.
Yeah.
I mean, I just grabbed a microphone and went at it in the living room, talking to the sofa.
Okay.
You know, and trying to do comedy. So what, you know, like my version of what did a comedian like the ones on TV do.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you recorded an actual show somewhere you went and did. You
God, no.
recorded
I was just in a living room.
Okay.
There's a high school nerd. Which one of our guests is a high school nerd, as I understand it? Or
Nate Watson.
college?
High school, I think. Just
okay.
Well, Tiffie just graduated high school.
Do we have to give them a pink slip for showing up late?
We have to do something.
Okay.
Tiffie.
If you're like me, I can't wait to find out what time they show up here. And what sort of mood will I be in? Because I've only had breakfast, for those of you who know me well. Means I'm a half grumpy bear.
And we haven't got that air conditioning project started.
You know, I wasn't even worried about that.
Okay.
Feels nice and cool.
Yeah.
I must have planned a barbecue because it's going to rain. And that seems to be my luck this summer. When I plan the barbecues, it rains. And when I have to work, big sunny skies. So, that story about trying comedy was new. And I thought engaging. Have you switched from cameras to, you know, you have my chin shot?
Cameras, but the cameras,
we have a totally different show where we do my chin shots. That's on our adult channel.
This one? This shot here?
I can't see any of the monitors, so I don't know what you're on. I'm just trying to entertain our guests.
Oh.
Potentially Tiffie and Nate, you know, tweeted this or Facebook to their friends, and they may have friends who are brand new to us who are wondering where their friends are. We're working on a live feed to our traffic recorder. It's not on that monitor. Yeah, no, I can't see the traffic recorder on our monitor, and as soon as we can get our traffic recorder, we'll get that footage to you. That is a close-up of my chin.
There you go.
So that's what you're getting when I'm talking to a camera that's that way. Hello. Do bears do yoga? No, but they can stretch. Bears stretch best when they take a shit in the woods. You're generally on some sort of tree, a limb that you really don't want to break. That's where Nathan gonna sit, right? Nope. Yep. Nathan's gonna sit there. His head will be about here, which replaces what we call the cannon.
Exactly.
It's a cannon because that's a manufacturer, and also because it yields one hell of a shot. That is going to be our. That's our 2 with Tiffie. Her face is going to be about here. That's our plan. Hello, I'm Tiffie Pink. For her friends, some of you are young and fragile and may not have been able to handle a joke about I'm Tiffie Pink, a parking dog. If she was still in high school, I wouldn't do that joke. Hey, that's pretty fun calling a girl a barking dog. That's about the safest clean joke I got.
Some kind of cue.
Here's the thing. When you're late to a production, if some of you are young comedians that tune in for what sometimes becomes advice on this show. If you're late and the other person is a bear that's only had breakfast, I'd be furiously writing funny jokes that make this bear laugh. So if you tuned in, that's going to be what we're looking for. You know, do they get off the hook with me? If you're their friend, Facebook or tweet them. Yeah, then they'll be prepared. I have a new comedy special that went on pre-sale. I think of that because I can see my friend Corey and Chad. That's their T-shirt. They're totally filthy animals. So if you're tweeting right now and you want to talk about heck of a job stretching bear, you could tweet how Filthy Animals is out on Amazon. I just got a thumbs up from Eugene. That feels pretty good. Because I was wondering, am I succeeding at obtaining your laughter?
Yes.
The crowd back home, I feel like you have a really good laugh. I struggle to hear it. And I go off your hee-hee-hees and ha-ha-has. One of the first times I really hated to stretch on a comedy show, I was, and now we're doing stories from comedy, is that? I wanted to go right back to day one.
Yes.
So on Thursdays I would get a call to go play the Portland Comedy Connection open mic, and the owner's wife would run it. And it was a day where pretty much nobody could make it, snowstorm or something, but this little bear, of course, like, I'll be right there. And I had to fill about 45 minutes, and I had about 6. And I also needed to order food, so we pulled out the phone book. Children, fans of Tiffie and Nathan. The phone book is, well, when you were a kid, there used to be this thing that pile up on the doorstep, and you didn't know what it was. That was a phone book. They used to have a lot of phone numbers in there. Eugene has totally left the studio, so I'm here on my own now. Now's time to reveal secrets you don't know. Like, secretly, I've been hooking up with Eugene's wife. And I can hear her laughing at that joke right now. Friends of Tiffie and kid, we're going to go to, have a seat, kids, and we're going to play house music from our terrific house band, Becky and the Shecky Shacks. Becky, we'll take the logo, we're going to seat the kids. Hello, young man, circle around and have a seat right here on the right. Oh, Becky and the Shecky Shacks, you're terrific. Hello, young lady, good to see you. And Chuck, nice to meet you. Have a seat, pick that up, we got a microphone in there. You can get that clipped onto your shirt. Tiffie, I think you just put that on your jean jacket. And we have a little house band film. Well, I think we have microphones. And this is the EUGE show. And now our guests are here, everybody. So, hi, welcome. I keep expecting applause.
Sorry.
Really? We never get applause, so that was a first. Tiffie Pink, welcome back to the show. When do you think we're going to book you like an adult and have you on just yourself?
Within the year.
Within the year? Okay. And to my right, we have Twink. It's Nate, and Nate, I've completely blanked on your last name. Watson. I knew it was Johnny Guitar Watson. That's what I wanted to ask you about. Johnny Guitar Watson was a guitar player. Have you ever heard a song by him?
I have not.
Okay. And do you get how Eugene laughed when I said his name? I was doing a generational thing. Yeah. Yeah. By the time you're 22, Johnny Guitar Watson's in a lot of club remixes.
Yeah, I've heard about those generational humor.
That's what I'm into. The two of you are brand new stand-up comedians, and so that's what we're here to have a conversation about today.
So new, I don't even know which camera to look at.
Okay, that's a good topic to bring up, because the next thing and we've been stretching for since 6 o'clock. So we went live, and you possibly have some friends that tuned in because of your terrific Facebook posts and tweets. And we thank their patience. They were good sports.
Definitely.
A lot of them called in and made fun of you. And they said you're late all the time. So we're going to talk about that later. And how we're going to address that in your career.
Okay.
That part was just sarcastic.
I was really expecting some notes on like how I failed and my first like really important thing as a comedian.
Oh, yeah. If you want notes on how you failed, talking to the right guy.
Well, I appreciate it.
That's just a constant dialogue. So we were discussing stretching. Eugene is basically adjusting all the cameras. And as far as which one you want to look at, that guy over there goes right up your nose.
Okay.
And that's a fun shot. That's when we get real serious with you. It's meant to have your head hide the camera over your shoulder. That monitor's on. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then she's got one that goes right up her face, which I really love. That's how we're going to get. That's when we start getting real serious. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the toughest part you got to pull off is if you look at that monitor, you look like you're not paying attention to the folks at home. So I guess we got the cameras hooked up so that we just sort of look at each other, and I have to do this seesaw back and forth. But it works best if you guys end up talking.
Okay.
So, Tiffie, you've been doing comedy longer than Nate, but it hasn't been so long. How many times have you done comedy?
Well, started back in February, and I've been on Strange.
So a wicked long time, right? Like forever?
Yes.
Okay, that was me being sarcastic. Sorry. You started in February, and you were in high school in February, because you probably graduated. Okay.
In May. Yeah.
In May. All right. And Nate, you started doing comedy. You did your first set recently.
Like last Sunday.
Okay.
I did my very first set.
Okay. And we can't get video of this to the kids yet because it's stuck on your cell phone.
It is.
Yes.
It's stuck there.
Which is generational to us. So that's probably, we're going to end up talking about that kind of stuff too. Like around the third break, towards the end of the show, we're going to talk about how comedy gets shared in your generation and what it's like to be, young and trying to do comedy and tell your friends about it and that kind of PR. But at the start, I want to find out what made you choose to get on a stage and tell jokes.
Well, for me, what always made me want to get on stage, I can't remember who my first comedian I ever saw was, but, I just started getting into comedy, and I just really I liked it better than a movie. I liked it better than movies and TV shows because it really felt like, it just felt kind of like having a conversation, and I really liked that. And it was something I wanted to, you know, I think every comedian had a little trouble socially when they were kids, and it just, or at least it's a common theme.
Sure.
And
do you have, are you awkward socially?
Oh, very.
Yeah, because if you're gonna be a comedian, you got to be tougher and get in on this kid. Like, you should have answered first. You've been doing comedy longer. Crush this kid. He's done comedy once. There's no way you're not more interesting than him. Bear is decreed.
you know, and it's just like...
He's back to talking. I want you talking.
All right, you talk.
I just want her to crush you. And I get that.
Please, crush me.
We did want to talk to you a lot, but, you know, like, I want to have a conversation between both of you. I'll just get, when did you start?
Well, I always like to entertain people.
Okay.
I've always been that person.
Is that the same for you at your household? Like,
definitely. I mean, I just needed some way to like kind of fit in, and I saw the guys just having a regular conversation, except they're up on a stage and making people laugh, and I was like, hey, I could do that.
Sure. Okay. So, all right. When were you first entertaining? Like 5 years old in front of the family living room, or?
For me, yes. It was singing for me and weird little skits.
She got in ahead of you. All right. That's my family. We do that. Like, we put on shows. We're farmers. Farmers entertain yourselves on a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
So kids of farmers just put on shows, and then other comedians you can tell are like just in the middle of their family living room at 4 years old, going, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." And if the family isn't looking, they're going, "Look at me," and they're good at getting their family's attention.
Oh yeah, that was me.
That was you? Okay.
I was that. When I was like a little 5-year-old, I got the milk crate out and a chopstick, and my grandma liked to watch like opera things, and I'd pretend I was a conductor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's something to, like, I guess there's a conversation I wanted to find out. Like, when were you entertaining, and then were people telling you to be a comedian, or were you? Some people hide the idea of wanting to be a comedian. Was it something you were?
For me,
some people turn off their cell phones when they go to a show.
Some of them do. Some of them do.
Some people mock people who don't turn off their phones. I'm not that kind of guy.
But I think as a professional, you have to like go against the grain sometimes, break from tradition, and just let it ring right in the middle of an interview. I think that's the right thing to do.
That's the whitest guy answer I've ever heard. I made the mistake, and mistakes are just, I'll call my dad. You're good. Tiffie, did you hide your comedy?
I think it's one of those things that's kind of uncomfortable. You can't hide it. It just makes you stick out. But I like doing drama. Like, I think in 8th grade is really when I got into it. I used to do choir. I loved being in front of people. I don't get stage fright. Okay.
That's a common theme for me too. I've never really been too nervous to get up on a stage.
And how did it translate to stand-up? I'm going to perform stand-up comedy. That scares a lot of people.
Well, for me, it was just blatant plagiarism. I would see a bit that I thought was funny, and I wasn't funny yet, and I would just tell the bit. I'd just tell the bit to my friends that I saw on stage, and they'd laugh, and I was like, well, now I'm getting how to deliver it. Now I can make up some of my own jokes. Sure. And it just kind of evolved like that. And I'd mix in bits that I'd seen with bits that I was making up and seeing which ones hit and landed. And I was just kind of me practicing.
Yeah. Quotes movie guy is an acceptable form of comedy for friends, construction sites, long car trips, and buddies. Mm-hmm. Somebody who quotes stand-up comedians and repeats the bit at work and gets a laugh out of everybody. That person can be fun to have at the office. That's the difference about stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. No one would allow quotes comedian, stand-up comedian. You can't do this with using someone else's words.
And that's really how, like, I kind of wanted to do it. I started as that guy, and then I kind of just slowly started to phase in my own jokes and my own bits and things that I thought were funny.
When was that happening?
That I was quoting comedians like out of 6th grade, and then I really started to get serious about coming up with my own stuff when I was like 15, and I knew it just would take years for me to really figure out my own voice and what was funny, so I did it.
Where were you putting this stuff? Were you writing it down, or just putting it in coming up with it in your head, or saving it in your phone, as the kids say?
I tried to write a couple of times, and I just like
what utensil? For writing?
Phone and a notebook, and I just lose it, and so I just kind of let it come, and I'd say it if I remembered it.
How's that work, writing a joke on your phone? Tell an old man.
It's difficult. It's awkward. I feel like an old man when I'm doing it. You want to like write the whole sentence as it's coming into your head, but it takes too long, and so you're like writing these weird little footnotes, and then you like look back at it when you're like, what was that joke? That was hilarious, and you're looking at your phone, and like, this makes no sense. This is just like a bunch of keywords from the bit.
Yeah.
And so that didn't really work for me. I got away from that.
For me, I have a notebook, and when I don't have my phone or my notebook, I just post a status on Facebook and get back to it, because I feel like I'm really uncomfortable when I don't have the app, so I end up texting it to someone.
Okay.
Or saving it as a draft.
Okay.
It's very inefficient.
I wonder, do people of that cell phone generation have the patience to write jokes? Or do you spend a lot of time fighting the process because it's so hard on your gadget?
It is. I mean, it's just, I spend a lot of time, like, this is so time consuming. I really don't I want to just come up with the joke, and I want to just tell it as I come up with it, you know? So,
I mean, is the solution to that a better piece of technology or more patience?
I think it's kind of like coming back a little bit from technology. I like the notebook. I like being able to use my shorthand and draw things out and kind of just arrange it in a way that I understand a little more without having to hit like 9,000 keys to like get it to look like how I would just write it.
When you're handwriting a notebook, that makes you feel comfortable.
That's the
you're
way
able to put the whole sentence down.
That's the way that I prefer it. I can write faster than I can type. I
have a Google Drive too.
Yeah.
So I can type it out.
I know about the cloud.
Oh yeah.
I'm even on the cloud.
You're up on the cloud?
I'm up on the cloud. I know about these things.
Nice.
You know,
well,
I've got a Hootsuite and a Twitter.
I'm glad you've come to join us on the cloud.
It's a thrill. And I understand the convenience, but I also understand, I guess that's the best way I've ever been able to articulate. Like, it does the gadget, just the commercial. The only person who the gadget actually solves anything for is the actor in a commercial who's like happily going, I'm tweeting my script, and you're like, nobody fucking tweets this. I'm sorry, I cursed, but you know, you don't use your gadget often to produce the show. You end up on your laptop or
usually I have to go usually to the tower.
I brought the boss back in.
I try to I've tried it on the tablet, I've tried it on a laptop, but usually I have to go to the tower.
Yeah. I want to be a tech person. I've read a book called Natural Capitalism a long time ago. Talked about tablets, how great they'd be, and I get it, like how much it'll work. But I think artistically, and you've earned the right to have some more water if you'd like.
Well, I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you.
I know. You know.
Have I danced enough? Have I entertained the masses enough to earn another glass?
Just only a little bit, and we're rationed.
All right.
We have that much water for the hour, everybody.
Rationing it out.
I guess that's the best way to say it. Is I write a lot of scripts. I write a lot of jokes. I wish I could have, one of those little smartphones, and for it to be a convenient way for me to write.
Oh yeah, the idea is awesome to have like everything right there in your little magic tablet.
I just don't think it's there yet.
It's not. It's not.
I recently read a script on a tablet that was a joy and a pleasure. But to edit one I find it.
I think until like the technology can read your mind, it's not going to be efficient enough,
fast enough for those of us who are impatient.
I'm horribly impatient. I'm not.
I want to get back to the how of getting into comedy, especially when we have people who are brand new. it can be a resource to people out there who watch and want to know how to get on stage. So what was the drive, first of all, for your friends watching? What was making you want to be a comedian, and what kind of comedian do you want to be? Tiffie, we start with you.
Well, I don't know. I got into it because I kept watching Mom with her comedy. And
Tiffie's mom is a guest before, and also a new comedian.
I'd watch her write her material and practice, and I started thinking that would be kind of fun, but I wasn't fully sold on it yet. And then one day I just kind of decided to go for it. But as for peers, and that, it kind of intimidates me. I haven't had them really. I've had a few friends come and watch me.
When you're performing at open mic level, and we'll get into your open mic story, but I want you to get a shot to answer that question. It's just, when you're performing at open mics, it can be like Ari's Tavern, where that is a bar next to 6 railroad switching stands, a concrete company, a few iron works. The people who go to Ari's are having a beer after a hard day's work. They do not want to hear a high school kid from a manufactured neighborhood south of the city talk about their life's troubles. You're the freaking kid back home.
Oh yeah.
So a tough spot for you to invite your friends to, like, hey, come to the north side of the city. I'm on the wrong side of the tracks. Tell me jokes. Is kind of what you're saying. It can be hard to have a place to invite your friends.
Yeah, the venue is definitely different. You don't really want to have all your friends come into a bar. I mean, not saying that all my friends aren't highly mature. Sure.
Yeah, it's if you're just out of high school, it's tough to there's a lot of everybody can be empathetic to the age issues and such. I guess to get really to you had a mom doing it. Were you afraid of trying comedy?
No, I think if anything, I was lazy.
Wow.
I just didn't want to get my set together.
I'm sure that's the story of a lot of comedians who need a gadget.
Definitely.
And was there any fear in getting on?
No, what happened was in our town there was a few buildings that burned down, so they had a talent show to raise money, and I decided like 2 days before that I was going to sing in it. Okay. And I did Olivia Newton-John's You're the One I Want, but I decided to do a set right after it, and I came up with my material the night before. And it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah. It always sounds like a good idea. One last question. What's the process? Like, what do you think was your first official set? That one was it?
I think that'd be my first official set. I remember one of my first jokes I came up with in like 6th grade is I'm a fatty. I love samples. So when I go to the store, I was trying to come up with a really good lie so I could get a couple samples in the bakery area. So I was just like, I could say I have a sample for each personality because no one's going to want to question that.
That's true.
I don't know. I've always been the weird child.
Okay. So when you've been exposed to stand-up comedy, maybe you don't know how, or you know how to get onto a stage. Where did you figure out that it's not like it is on TV? Like, how did you go from you've seen comedy on TV to finding out where it's performed live?
It was all her. It was all Tiffie. Before I met her, it was like, here's me, and then here's all of stand-up comedy. Yeah. And like, I had no idea how. Sure. I had no idea where open mics were. I looked it up online, and it's just really hard to find stuff online if you don't know stuff to go to.
So what happened when you looked it up online? No information results?
I mean, I looked it up, and I looked up open mics and things, and I found like poetry open mics and other things like that, and I never found anything that really looked like a comedy open mic, and when I did, it was just too intimidating, and it scared me off because I had no in.
Okay.
So, I mean, to really start doing open mics, I really needed her as my in.
We got water coming. It's very exciting.
Oh, I'm very excited too.
Makes me think of a joke I wrote this weekend. My friend has the gout. It's a thing in the foot. It hurts like a snapped crab leg.
It sounds like it.
It's a joke you only get if you have the gout.
Yeah.
And it's
Crab legs will give you gout.
My friend ate a lot of bad crab legs, and that's why Eugene ate. Or they were delicious crab legs. They just fucked up his foot real
Right
good.
now we had a big win at Blackhawk. I'm like, let's celebrate. Let's have a bunch of crab legs. 2 days later, I can't walk.
One day you'll be old, and
Oh, that sounds fun.
your body will. It's very fun. I have a good time with it. It just there's times where your body's like, oh, you had a good time with it.
I mean, that's like the main portion of the bits that I'm trying to come up with is I'm 18. And so the main thing that I hear from the majority of people I interact with, because the majority of people I interact with are older than me, is you have no idea. Like, is the main
That's
message
exactly
that
what
I'm
you should
getting
make
from
fun of.
everybody. Is you have no idea. That's the
Sure.
main thing that I've been told in my entire life about everything.
You know, it's true on both ends. It's a cop-out thing that people will probably say to you, and it should be made fun of, because it's one of those expressions. Nobody's got a "you have no idea" bit.
It's
Mostly because, you know, a lot of people who do stand-up were older than 21 in the 80s and 90s, you know, but now that TV's in every living room, it's exposed to people, young people get on. That's the kind of bit, anyone who's older than you, it goes right back to when they were 18 and hearing, oh, you have no idea.
definitely.
We also know the other end of it, like why you have no idea.
And I understand that I have no idea, but it's just interesting how no one's really figured out a way to explain it to me in a non-condescending way.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it to you in a non-condescending way, or why. I'd rather explain why people are so condescending.
Your answer is there, you know, you got to
No,
learn.
he's got a valid point that people choose to be condescending like that. You know, you first set it off of just your desire to want to do stand-up, and then people are like, do they tell you shouldn't do stand-up because you have nothing, you're so young and would have nothing to talk about?
I mean, that's some of it, and it's just kind of in every aspect of life. If you're young, you will be told that you don't have any idea. No matter what subject that you're trying to get into, you know, if you're asking for advice about relationships, you know, they're like, it's you have no idea. Once you're married, you have no idea. It all changes. Once this happens, it all changes. So you don't have any idea. And it's, you know.
Where do you go with your idea now? If your chore is, are you trying to do that as a comedy bit?
I am trying to turn that into a comedy bit. It's, you know, it's
folks
something.
at home would probably want to know how that process gets done.
Turning it into a bit.
Yeah.
That process usually gets done at about 3 in the morning when I can't fall asleep.
Okay.
And then I just
I have some friends that want to know about 3 in the morning, but we weren't going to make that joke.
I appreciate that.
When you look up twink, you're going to get that joke.
Well, thank you.
How do you look up twink?
What I try to get out of a conversation, especially with two brand new people, is how does comedy get done for your first set? And now you're doing your second set and you've identified a bit. Like what's going to be your, what did you think your process was? Did you have a process? Or is this the first time you've ever
For getting up,
considered
by
the
process for
process?
making up the bit or the process for getting on stage?
We'll go with both because I'm sure there's folks who want to know the answer to both.
I'm sure Tiffie has a lot more wisdom on this than me, but for me, you know, the process for coming up with a bit is don't try to come up with a bit. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's just kind of just watch a couple of comedy specials, get yourself in the mood, watch something that makes you laugh, and then just kind of let your own mind think of things that are funny. And then, you know, if you think about it for a long time, it kind of just turns itself into a bit. And I think that's what makes really good jokes is when you just let it come to you really naturally and you're not trying to force a joke onto a piece of paper.
Okay.
That's what
do you ever sit down with a blank piece of paper with the intent to write jokes? Or
I do.
What is that process like?
It's usually me staring at a blank piece of paper and not getting anything.
So if you had a blank piece of paper with the challenge of how do I get this bit across?
I was given that challenge at Ari's Tavern. Like,
you have no idea how to write that down, do you?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, you got no idea.
That's what I'm gonna title my first special. I'm gonna title it "You Have No Idea."
How can I be empowering at telling you? I think I know the answer to how to write down a series of bits. In fact, I think I'm pretty confident I know the answer.
I'm confident.
As a producer and someone who puts together comedy shows, I have no desire to coach anybody on how to write their bit. My goal is to get you to answer it yourself. I mean, if you got a question, I'm happy to answer it. I don't think you want my advice on how to write that bit. I think you want to know how to write that bit yourself.
I mean, that's kind of one of the many things that drew me to stand-up comedy is because of, you can just do an open mic. You don't need schooling, you don't need training, and I'm tired. It's just it's sort of born out of the feeling that I'm just tired of everyone telling me how to do something instead of just letting me sink or swim.
Sure.
It's almost like I wouldn't mind failing just as long as someone let me do it myself,
Sure.
Because I live in Castle Rock. I live in Douglas County. It's like the 6th richest county in the country at one point. I don't know if that's accurate now. I don't keep up on any kind of stats. Someone just told me that at some point, and I believed them.
Sure.
But it's
they do well down there.
I've lived my whole life, for the most part. Everybody has their ups and downs, but I've lived most of my life with my hand being held. And I've kind of come to a point where I resent it, and I just want to.
Oh, hold the microphone with that hand. You'll be all right.
Yeah. It's the kind of freedom that the microphone gives you.
It definitely lets you. You're in charge of what you say when you do stand up, and so I want to go back to the bit and when you were a hope and dream comedian without the task of presenting that bit, because you can't do that bit when you're 25. You got to do that bit now. Your next few open mics, you got to do that bit in 18 to 20, because that bit will be done. It'll be polished by the time you're 22. Then, Jesus, ain't it time to set? Let's get rid of that set list. Or that bit could be a humdinger. Like I got a dodgeball bit I wrote, pretty much on my first stand-up set. It got some keepers that went all the way to my 1-hour special. So, I think both Eugene and I identify that's a funny line for a stand-up comedian. So you have no idea. And a fun premise for a show to kind of go, what's next for that? Probably write down. Yeah.
I mean, I want to go into that. I understand I really do have no idea, but I also kind of, that I know a thing or two at this point. I have been alive for 18 years. That's not a short amount of time. And it's just, I kind of want to go into some of maybe the funny things that I have in my mind right now that may not be as important to people when they're older, and they can look back and say, well, I remember when that was really important to me.
What do people really have no idea about you?
About me?
Yeah. That would be the funny, like, to one-up them and be like, you thought I had no idea before. Wait till you see how much of a no idea I got.
I can chime into that.
All right. Well, I know our house band prepared an exciting number for our first commercial break. So we're about to go to commercial break, and we're going to fill our glasses of water.
All right.
And then we're going to come back. We're going to play Pop a Caption, I believe. So we're going to try to tell some jokes. And then we're going to talk more about how to become an amateur comedian. I want to know how to sign up for an open mic. We'll talk about that right after Roberta and the Flax play this hot tune. Oh, I love Roberta and the Flax. Name of the band changes each time.
Okay.
Back already.
If you were a huge sponsor right now, your ad would be playing right now. We'd be talking about you. We'd be selling your stuff. So give us a call or hit us up at EUGEshow.com, Eugene or Chuck at EUGEshow.com. Chuck is such a so Eugene and Chuck at EUGEshow.com if you'd like to sponsor. They're live. We would definitely, if we would definitely give out your phone number. We'd say your name every time we gave out our phone number every week. Right, so there you go.
Yeah. Don't fart. Our microphones are wicked live. I don't know why I'm doing fart jokes today. I really, I lost it. I wasn't thinking about stretching, and now comedically I'm tapped out.
Well, I guess that's a wrap then.
Yeah, it's totally show over. How do you sign up for an open mic?
Well, the way I sign up for an open
push
mic.
in there, little champ. Squeeze in. Come in about 6 inches. There you go. Now the folks.
There we go.
Now everybody gets to see you.
The way I signed up for an open mic is she just dragged me in, and then some lady just put down the sheet in front of me, and I signed my name. I was the only one on the set list.
Okay.
At the moment.
What open mic did he go to?
He went to Derek Rush's at Rooster Cat Coffee House.
Oh, okay. Oh, right on. All right. How many people were in the audience?
About 15.
I'd say 15.
Ones
How many
who
of
wanted
those people were comedians?
probably like 7.
All right. So your first open mic, you talked to about 7 people. At my first open mic, there were 7 people plus the 15 to 20 I brought from New Hampshire. Making it an epic night at that open mic. They were like, "Remember the night we had a crowd?"
That's funny.
And I bring it up just because people are afraid to try stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of you are young, and you pretty much knocked out trying it.
Yeah.
So it didn't really. You didn't wait till you were 30. Panicking, going, I don't know, should I try it?
Well, I mean, I already ran myself out of options. I dropped out of high school.
Really?
Dropped sort of out of college. I mean, this is kind of all I've got left.
Oh, you don't even know. Sorry. There's plenty of options on the table.
Well, I mean, I know I have places to go if I wanted to, but like really the only appealing option left for my life, the only thing that I think would make me truly happy is being up on a stage and hearing people laugh at my jokes.
Okay. Well, do you want to try to write some jokes and see how funny we are?
All right.
You don't really have an option. You kind of have to say yes,
well,
or else I bear out on you. We have a game we play called Pop a Caption. In this game, you'll look at that monitor. Eugene will pop up photos, and you get as many jokes out as you can. This is about you being late. I had a lot to do with picking this photo.
Yes, as you were driving here, Chuck was picking.
Do you know how not 420 it is? I'm on the board. Is there a joke?
Is there a joke? Well, I have a story about why we're late.
Okay.
So I was supposed to pick her up at my girlfriend's house, who she's staying with at the moment, and
this is called Dodge a Question.
Dodge a Question.
We'll get right back to it.
We'll get right back to it.
Please, this never goes away. Continue.
You were late? Why?
We were late because we got there. I was already
I wanted ice cream.
You did want ice cream. And you could have told me you wanted ice cream. So I got there to the house, and she was halfway across town at the ice cream shop at Baskin Robbins. And I got to have a nice little aneurysm when I found out that she wasn't.
When I was stretching, was I having ice cream? No. No, I wasn't.
In my defense, I worked a graveyard last night.
Okay.
And had to stay hours over. It was the only piece of happiness in my day.
Well, I'm glad you had
Besides
happiness.
Well, you know what? This is like Letterman to me right now.
I'm glad.
That was like the level of intensity I brought while I was driving the car.
In my offense, I didn't have any ice cream while I was stretching.
So
Which I now have the line in my offense. I picked up a new joke.
I like that.
From the EUGE show. All right, well, we now found out you relate because of ice cream. Next, we're going to talk about what to do when you get fired from your first comedy job.
Jesus.
So
Come on, that's my dry humor.
that's interesting.
That's the weather. Oh yeah. Good luck getting Eugene to forget that.
The EUGE show covering uplifting subjects.
We try to help. So we were.
Thanks.
We were in the middle of pop an excuse.
Let's get back.
Okay. How many hours were you late? That's what this man is asking. All right. So, Tiffie, any jokes?
I have been working for 5 minutes.
Tiffie?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm not here.
I like that. You're on the board.
But not
Nate?
I don't even get the point of this game. I'm sorry.
All right, you're good. It's when you see the photo,
Yeah, I could just.
We're doing good.
I could just say something unrelated to the picture, if that helps.
It's a joke writing exercise. So we're going to go through about 7 of these, and so as soon as you see the photo, the idea is to just.
Caption said joke in a funny manner.
Yeah.
Caption said joke.
It's a little bit of. It's like a basketball drill. You ever do the 3-man weave?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot.
I remember falling down a lot during the 3-man weave.
You're doing that during Papa Capture.
Okay.
I'm just. All right, you're fine. I didn't see you.
All right.
I had told you I have
One
to
more
be
time,
nice.
Stare at the clock. Say
They're
something
fragile little people.
funny. Come on, bring it. You got it in you.
Have you? We're going to you. We're going to try to get you to write it. What? Now we're going to have to break down the whole thing.
Okay.
What are your steps to writing a joke when presented a picture like this? Do you have any steps?
Well, I've never had anyone like come into my room at night at 3 a.m. and show me a picture of a man with a clock and ask me to write jokes about the man with the clock.
Okay.
So I don't really have like a set out.
Well, now I
process.
know what to do.
Okay. I'll remember to start locking my doors at night.
There are people who watch this show because of me, and I have to cover them with the jokes, and I'm trying to be a gentleman and delicate, right, Eugene? What I'm trying to get at now is, first I'll give out a brand new joke. Like, if you're brand new and then you're thinking, I want to do stand-up, a great joke writing book is called Comedy Writing Secrets by Mel Helitzer.
Okay.
Basically gives you the homework of how to write jokes when there's nothing, or you have the job of writing jokes. I got a job on the Saturday Night Live and I'm a sketch writer. Or you want to work for the Tonight Show and write jokes for the monologue. So he has a history of writing jokes for people like Phyllis Diller, who was on the original Tonight Shows. So if that's part of your journey and you're going, how do I write jokes? I always refer to that book. In producing a comic or advising a comic, if you don't want to read a book, it's fucking comedy in an art form and rock and roll. So do whatever you got to do. But
you know what we got to do now? We got to look at that picture, Nate. Say something funny about it. Come on, pop a caption into that picture.
Yeah, my friend has a bullying tactic for writing jokes, which is more common in green rooms, so you're going to want to buck up, little camper.
Okay, I really appreciate
Could you make fun of this guy?
The encouraging talk with the little camper. I don't know. He looks, like he hates his job doing stock photos for...
Yeah. It's a Mitt Romney executive?
Yeah. Like...
Maybe he has a prostate appointment at 9:05.
That sounds fun. And he brought this ridiculously outsized clock to make sure he gets there in time.
Yes. Now you're on the goal to comedy.
There you
The
go.
clock is almost as big
you
as his
have-
prostate
I
is
think
right
you-
now.
Yes. See? I think you have picked up yourself from the floor of the 3-man weave,
Now you're swinging.
and now we're going to go to another photo.
All right, cool. Comedy achieved.
I got to remember what I was looking up when I Googled this. Oh, this if you Google pop a caption on your computer and click the images, this was the guy who came up.
Okay. All right.
Eric Estrada. Here.
You're looking at me?
Eric, yeah. Right before he found out Auto Trader went with the Duke Boys instead of the Chips guys for the new campaign.
Okay. Really?
The Dukes are back. They're back in a new Auto Trader campaign. And
Bring it.
All right, because to me, it's just looking like he's trying to headbutt the guy next to him. I don't know what the motion lines are about.
All these movies.
Americans love soccer.
There you go.
All right, you're on the board.
Get out of my selfie.
There's no wrong answer. There might be unfunny ones, but in trying to write jokes, especially as a group, like that, at least you went for what you thought was funny, and I found that soccer joke based on your thought. If we were writing a show together, boom, we got our joke.
Well, there you go. I'll just.
This is now even funnier. Pool boy was the Google search for this.
Chuck just drops these in for himself.
Jesus.
Well, it was hot, and I had Googled pool, and it was supposed to go pool, then pool boy.
Oh, I got you.
My jokes flopped.
That's all right.
Speaking of floppy, sorry, it was a dick joke.
Really?
I was referring to
subtle.
the gentleman. And now I'm trying to come up with a 6-pack joke. And all I can think of is how I failed to work out. I've recently started working out, and then I don't anymore.
Yeah.
Like within 1 week, I've already quit.
There's nothing funny about that picture. You really,
Well, that looks like.
Go ahead.
The pool to pool boy progression was going to be funny.
Well, Chuck, you built the file.
I'm taking full responsibility for the lack of humor
If
here.
it loaded incorrectly, that's not me.
No,
That's
well, I could load that photo more correctly next time. When you get the Mel Helitzer book, there'll be a chapter on innuendo.
Okay.
I've read that chapter a lot. I'm well studied in it.
Innuendo.
Thank you. All right. Oh.
Thank you. Here we go.
See, there is a pool.
You got backwards. I can't help you, Chuck. Wait, hold on. We can do this.
No, you're killing me again.
What?
Now you're right back to yeah. Hey, which one do you want your jokes to belly flop in?
Jesus.
Because that's where all my jokes are flopping in. As a producer, I just put words in my head. Pool was the challenge.
Yes.
I found a joke.
So
I'm immediately thinking of Caddyshack.
now, usually this is less of Chuck doing jokes and more of us doing captions.
Okay.
But today,
Well, I'm fine with
Chuck
this.
had a motive to his papa caption.
There was definitely a gay undertone
There
with
was
the
a
second
definite
joke.
motive to his papa caption. I
This
can
is
see
definitely.
it.
I'm
okay.
guilty of. We previously knew there was a twink, and I went pool to pool boy.
All right. And
I'm guilty. Wait till do you even know who these people are?
who are these people?
I'm not even. Let's do some jokes first, and then let's see how evil and motivated I was. It's America, fuck yeah.
I'm proud of
Turn
this.
that bus around.
You guys want? Do you know? Yeah, that's the turn that bus around crew.
People? Oh my God.
Because that
Who
looks
took a shit on our Greyhound?
really because that looks like that could have been me on the 4th of July,
Were you?
I find that believable.
running around in the streets,
Were you?
the hard hat and an American flag. I don't remember where I was. That could very well be me.
Were you protesting immigrants that were sneaking into the country?
I don't know. I get very protesty
These
on the
were-
4th of July.
I just feel like he should have like, I'm proud to be a white guy doing construction in the U.S.
I'm 1 in 1 million. He is the 1%.
Jesus.
She popped a caption.
Yes, she
Popped a
did.
caption. I put that one in there.
Manual labor.
That is Michael Labor.
Yeah, that's
Manual Labor, if we were doing this in the 80s. Let's go back to the flag waving guy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know we were off the flag waving.
I wanted to have the discussion. This was a tough part of the news on the 4th of July. Do you know the news story?
No.
And so we assumed you didn't know the news story, Twink.
Well, I appreciate that.
But Tiffie seems smart. Did this come across your radar at all?
I don't think it did.
There's a tide of kids sneaking in from Honduras, breaking across the border.
Yes, they turned the bus in.
So go ahead,
Yeah.
Tiffie.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I did hear about that. They took him. They put him on the bus and tried to take him back.
I was trying to save that photo, but it didn't come. It didn't come out. I was busy
Yes.
loading the other photo. Sorry. It's your job sometimes as a comedian to alleviate the steam in the room. You know, if you're the host of the Tonight Show this week or doing Saturday Night Live, maybe what's your taste on a joke like that is what I wanted to know. Is it the kind of stuff you want to make fun of? Should we make fun of?
I don't think you've told the whole story yet, Chuck.
Oh yeah, they're booing at a bus full of children.
There's a bus full of children coming from that got caught.
Really? Because that's what they did to me every day when I went to school.
See there? That's what I'm talking. That's not racist. That's American.
There's a totally
buddy.
different kind of flag
That's
waving though.
American. Pal.
You're America's best. Go Nate.
I thought it was just normal.
Just try real hard. You'll get an A. We already have a job for you.
Trophies for everybody.
So it didn't hit you. You're not afraid to make a joke of it?
No.
You think it's off limits?
No. I think it can be done tastefully, but I don't think many things are off limits.
Yeah, it could be someone in the audience's, niece on that bus.
Well,
So,
that
there's two
sucks
sides
for
of
them. They
every-
shouldn't have had that niece.
Well, even if my
Wow,
niece was on the
that was
bus,
a
I'd
white.
still make fun of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't have empathy for the little kids on the bus?
I have empathy, but I think everything needs to be lightened up a bit. And I'm sure even they could appreciate the humor later on.
Do the kids on the
Fine.
bus think this
You're
topic
supposed
goes
to-
round and round?
Jesus.
There was no way
It's just
I couldn't
terrible.
say it.
That's just terrible.
See, I said tastefully.
I have this sense of humor, and there's no way of stopping a joke like that.
Those.
In fact, you can stop a bus full of Honduran children more easily than you can stop a joke like that. Because that bus actually stopped and I did the joke. Sorry. So that conversation went nowhere. The kids have no moral boundary. They'll tell a joke about anything.
Okay.
What kind of jokes do you tell when telling stand-up?
That one's on you.
Oh, okay. Well, I just talk about my life, and I know I'm going to be
Honduras
making.
children rocked into a bar. Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
We're very thirsty.
The other one got a DUI.
I don't know. See, I know there's boundaries, but I recently started working as a caregiver
Okay.
in the memory ward,
Okay.
which houses the crazy senior citizens.
So
And I have stories. That's going to be my material probably from now on. It's like a new dimension when you go in there.
she brings up a good place to discuss a boundary. Do you talk about your personal life in your
I think she
stand-up?
made a joke. Did she say it's like a new dementia when you get in there?
Wow, I don't think she did. Did you say a new dementia?
She did.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think
just
you
heard
made the
that.
joke
I
then.
heard that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like a-
Like an old man, Eugene has overheard incorrectly himself onto the scoreboard.
And like an old comic, it was funny.
Okay, go ahead. Speak louder and Eugene won't be funny. So do you talk about your stand-up? Do you talk about yourself personally, like boyfriends, girlfriends, that type of thing?
Oh yeah, dating, learning to drive.
Okay.
High school.
Okay.
No, I was always.
How long was your first set?
My first set.
We have a look at Tiffie if you want to see it, bud.
Yeah.
Sure.
His was.
I had an idea.
He was pretty brave.
That
I mean, they were quiet.
I had a dream that I solved the world's fossil fuel problems when I invented a car that run off rubber.
I'm surprised we have footage of that.
Smile. Before. All right. I know that was too stupid to laugh at, but you already laughed, so fuck you, no takebacks. All right, here we go. Your next comic, very, very funny young lady, started her comedy career close to here, but did one of her very first sets here. Anyway, very funny young lady, come on up to the stage. Right there is Tiffie Pink. Right there is Tiffie Pink. Go get him, sweetie.
Hi, you guys. How are y'all? Smooth, no enthusiasm there.
You know,
I just graduated from high school in May, and that was nice. Everyone's always asking me what you're going to do after you graduate. And then there's no questions asked at graduation. You just look at where they put their tassels. Let it sink in. Let's see, I recently started driving because when you're over 16 and you don't have a license, people just, they don't take it well. They're like, how old are you now, dear? As if they really care. They're like, I'm 18. And they're like, and you don't drive? I'm like, I want you to stay away from her. There's something wrong with her. If she ain't driving, she ain't right. Well, I was out there driving, and my town has been really supportive. All the older people, they keep giving me the peace sign. And I'm like, that is so sweet. But they keep putting up only one finger. And I just let it go because they're old, and I smile at them, and they do it even more.
Oh. It's so cute, the little kid did it.
So I'm not looking forward to it. I just signed up for classes at Metro.
Actually inventing a new genre.
And they have orientation. I thought when I graduated I'd get out of that, because then they have the awkward questions where you have to say something interesting about yourself. You can never beat the girl, and she's like, my name is Stephanie. I have a cat that has 2 legs. And you're like, how am I going to beat that? Like, I have a boyfriend with 2 legs. And they're like, ah. So I always tell them this story. My little sister and I promised her when I get out of medical school, I'm taking her to Scotland with our husbands to go on the lake and look for the Loch Ness Monster. And everyone's always charmed by this story. The only reason we're bringing husbands is someone always dies on these adventures, and it's not going to be us. I've been dating lately, and I had a friend who wanted to set me up on a date. Well, Brittany, she's got interesting notions when it comes to dating. She took blind date literally last time, and what girl doesn't love doing her hair and makeup? He was a little too gropey, though. Not of me, the guy next to me. Just went downhill. Well, she was telling me about this guy. Well, I love him educated, and I love him older, and she told me he had a degree. She told me he went to church. I'm like, Mom's going to be happy. And he had a car. The last guy walked to pick me up, and he had a limp. It was terrible. Well, I'm like, okay. So I tell her, we'll set us up on a date. She's like, there's only one problem, Tiffie. She's like, it's going to be a while. And I'm like, why? He had a degree, all right. 3rd-degree murder. That wasn't even it, though. He was a Mormon, and nobody's got time for that. And that's all for me.
Sometimes I want to die and go under the table.
That's Tiffie Pink right there. Nice set.
You enjoyed watching yourself do stand up?
Oh yeah, like getting a shot.
Yeah, I watch tape of me all day.
I like to record it
That's
every
really
time
humble.
I go on.
I have no idea what humble means, but I'm assuming it's a compliment.
Okay. Yeah, we'll run with that.
All right.
What did he say? What did you say?
It was. You can watch it on the replay. He's got a dry wit. It works. That's all right.
Well, thank you for your sort of
Tiffie
approval.
You'll never get that.
Okay.
Tiffie, you're embarrassed watching yourself. The kids at home watch you. Is that the stand-up you want to do? I mean, I see like you're doing stand-up. It's from your perspective. Did somebody really set you up on those dates?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to write stand-up? Like, is it a bit? You're just trying to write a bit, or?
Oh, it's inspired by true life events.
Okay.
I have one of those lives where people say you should write a story, so instead I write a book.
Nice.
And jokes from it.
Okay. When is the next time you do stand-up?
The next time we're going to do stand-up?
Yeah.
I actually leave for Puerto Rico in like 3 days.
Okay.
You know.
So then career over?
Yeah. It's all over. I mean, I had my run. You know, I had my one set. It was good. And then I think we'll just call it a day. We'll hang in the towel. I think I can retire on that open mic money.
I would assume.
Yeah.
I would assume your parents had that set up the moment you said you were going to try comedy. They're like, we better put something aside now. When is your next set?
Probably in the next week or so I'll do something.
Okay, so I'm picking up on a little lack of commitment, or...
Well, we went to Kingo's last night.
Okay.
And observed.
Okay. That's one thing you can do if you don't know how to do it. Is simply go watch an open mic happen. Like, if you're terrified going, I'm terrified, it's going to be a giant crowd, it's going to be scary, go to an open mic, and then you'll be like, oh, I just have to make these 8 people laugh. This should be easier.
It was nice. It was full.
So you go to Puerto Rico for a vacation, I assume?
Yeah, just a vacation.
You come back for summer. Are you going to try to get on stage again?
I'm just going for like a week. I'm going for about 8 days.
Okay.
And then I'm probably going to do stand-up again, like as soon as I get back.
How does that work? Like we had talked about it before. You said you Googled open mic. Now, do you know how that works?
No, I ask her when the next open mic is, and then I go to that one.
Okay. 5280comedy.com.
Okay.
That's a pretty good
start. I showed him.
Gosh, you're a twink. You'll get in the habit of learning how to find where the gigs are. I guess, what were the steps you took before? Like you say you found out through her. Was that like on Facebook, or you socially knew her and you knew she was doing stand-up?
Well, she's good friends with my girlfriend. We just kind of met.
Okay. So so you knew she was actively going to clubs, and you asked her, or just...
She mentioned it, and we just started talking about it.
Okay. So now is going to stand up like a buddies thing, and you go to the open mics and your friends go?
I mean, that's what it... Sorry, I'm interrupting you every time. Go.
That's kind of what we did last time, or last night even. Because I think our friends are interested. And
So what's the next step if you're going to go to another open mic? Talk to me like as if I've never been to one before. What happens?
Well,
do you remember what happened when you went to the open mic you went to?
I mean, like if I'm speaking, like I do remember, but if I'm speaking really honestly, it was all kind of a blur. There was so much adrenaline and everything, you know, just the scariness of the first time.
Okay.
It's, you know, I don't remember any of the jokes I told. I just kind of got up and did it.
And did it go well?
No.
Okay.
But it went better than I expected it to. You know, I got silence instead of boos, and I was actually really happy.
It didn't discourage him at all. It was pretty brave watching him.
Was it funny at all?
He is funny, yeah.
My first time up, I wrote a bit about dodgeball, and it seems you're dodging the question. Was he funny his first time, or was it painful to watch?
I think
because you made a joke. You didn't hear his joke about. Like he didn't. It made me think he didn't do so well his first time.
It wasn't painful to watch. He was funny. He's trying to develop his bit on top, and then I think it's a little when you have can agree when there's comedians out there.
True.
Nothing is funny.
I mean, you watched me watch your set. I wasn't laughing at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't laugh. I've been to enough things that it takes.
He put
a
his
little
face
more.
into the table, like watching it. Like there's something about us, you know. There's a personal journey. Maybe you don't want to watch the other person, or maybe you're critical and they're doing it wrong and they annoy you. That's probably the more. That's Eugene watching me host this show. Doing it wrong. So what? When you get there, how long of a set do you have to do at an open mic?
Well, I would say we just
I mean, did you do it an hour? Or did you do your own hour?
Oh, every time, at least an hour.
So you obviously know, right? About how long was it?
Mine was about 5 minutes. Did you say?
And it
I went
scared
for
the hell
about
out of you
5.
to the point where you're like, it was a blur.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I wasn't as scared as I thought I would be at all. I was scared in the car ride, and I was scared walking into the place, and I was scared when the host got up, and then they called my name, and I just kind of got really calm, and there was no use getting scared or nervous or embarrassed about it, so I just went up and did it, and then I left and got a coffee in the coffee shop, and then I came back out and enjoyed the comedy, and I didn't even think about it again after that.
Wow. Do you think it went well?
I think it definitely went better than I expected. I mean, I can't really be a judge on how funny I am, but it went better than I expected it to. I thought my jokes were funny. I think they could still use some rounding out.
Okay.
But
what will you, when you go do comedy again, what do you plan to say?
I mean, I'm gonna make my intro and my exit a little more smooth. I mean, mainly what my main goal for my first open mic was to just get the feel of being on stage and look comfortable and get my delivery right and just say it. I wasn't even trying to be funny. I just wanted to get up and say it and not act like I was terrified or on a stage, and just kind of get the feel of looking natural.
Okay. Do you think you achieved that?
I think so. I think I looked all right. I think I found out how to deal with the nervousness.
Okay.
Mostly.
What do you do to deal with the nervousness?
Just breathe. I had a cigarette.
Okay.
That helped.
The folks at home were really hoping for not a drug endorsement there, but it turned out to be one.
Start smoking.
We almost had, a nice moment where, join comedy, and then he's like, I smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
That calmed me down.
Smoke cigarettes. It'll make you funny.
It's, a lot of comedians have said that. We're at the finale.
We're good whenever you're ready.
Really? Huh. Roberta has the finale set. That lady. Have you met the house band yet?
I have not.
Well, you weren't here on time to meet them before, but we'll introduce you to them after. Terrific. They play the Oriental Theater on July 32nd.
Okay.
8 p.m.
All right.
Where can I guess?
I'll be there.
Where can our viewers get hold of our guest?
Eugene wants to know, where can we get a hold of you? Do you tweet jokes?
Pigeon delivered messages usually works.
Okay, so if you are on the new Carrier Pigeon app, Tiffie has jokes for you. Do you have professional anything? Websites or
Facebook page.
You have a
Tiffie
Facebook
Pink.
page? Is it like a comedy page or your personal?
It's my comedy page.
Oh, look at Tiffie Pink is already. So Tiffie Pink on Facebook, and then it's new for you. It's quite all right to not have.
I actually am planning on making a new Facebook comedy page.
Oh wow!
Is
this a serious thing for you?
I'm serious. I'm serious about it. I'm not messing around here. I want to do this, and I want to do it for the rest of my life. I want it to always be a thing that I do, whether I'm good or not. I'm not worried about that. It's something that I want to do.
Well, I hope you get to keep doing it. You know, Tiffie, same for you. Are you serious about it?
I'm addicted. It's kind of.
We'll get your Facebook page announced. You know, God likes the idea of us announcing. I want to thank Tommy and the Thunderclaps, our sound effects engineer. First, I do want to say thanks to both of you for being here, and then let you know that, you know, I had nothing to do with booking you. I don't give a shit about your comedy career, but Eugene does.
Okay.
I care. I like this show. I think we achieved a lot in talking about comedy in a brand new, like for people who are brand new, and this hopefully gets to become a conversation. Other people are wondering how to get on stage and transfer that notebook to actual action. You know, I hope they get to watch this one. I think they learned some things. After meeting both of you and talking to you, the point of the show is to let you know we put you on here because we think you're going to be huge, that you're going to stay in this game after the conversation. I believe you when you say you want to be comedians. And so I hope people will join your Facebook fan page and that you keep finding ways to entertain them. And I hope you get to your gigs on time.
Got that.
Okay. And you know, keep sharing what you do, because that you know, you're doing comedy and putting it out there on YouTube that people can watch that are your age, and it's jokes that they can relate to. And don't worry, you know, it doesn't matter. There's so many people on the planet that can watch you on YouTube. There's going to be enough that are going to like you, you know, and relate to your jokes. Like, there's a lot of people out there who are your age, think the same stuff you do, and wish someone would say it in a funny way like you do. So I hope you'll stay with it. And then we kind of hope you quit. Okay. Because you talk a lot.
All right.
And well, I guess. I think you learned that you shared a lot and that you have a passion for this. So keep at it. When you know, a vacation to Puerto Rico probably won't stop you.
I mean, the main reason I really want to go is just kind of get away, and I'm probably going to be writing jokes most of the time, and just kind of take a step back from my everyday life so I can see what's funny about it and write the jokes about it.
Yeah, it's an art form you don't even know.
Okay.
How much you have to learn. But if you read Mel Heliter's book, you'll learn that was a callback. I want to thank Eugene for letting me host tonight. I really enjoyed the conversation. Please stay tuned to EUGE. Next week we have another wonderful guest, and you know, depending on how Black Punk goes in the buffet line, we might have our host back. Good luck at the table, EUGE. All right, tune in next week, everybody.